Wellity. I've kept you waiting, haven't I? So anticipation, the anticipation is what helped. Celtic lad, you're no far off it, to say the least. You could say that I'd essentially drank myself into a coma, yes. We've all had a drink. Well, I've not had a drink today, but we all had a drink. Well, I'm assuming a good few of us had a drink in celebration yesterday. But you know what it's like. Difficult to get the videos done after derby games, with the shenanigans that goes on afterwards. So that's me finally getting to sit down now, hangover recovered, to talk all about yesterday. As Cody Rhodes would say, what do you want to talk about? Celtic 3, Rangers 2, 12 points clear. I have been waiting patiently to say these words. That's the league over. Celtic are effectively champions again. I have no fear in saying it. I don't think I'm going to have to look back on saying it. I don't think I'm going to be made to look foolish or have egg in my face. Now, a lot of people are superstitious and yada yada. That's it, done. It's over. And we finished it in fashion yesterday, didn't we? Slightly questionable fashion. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't vintage Celtic, but we got the job done. And beating Rangers, no matter how you do it, is all that matters. I couldn't care if it was by hook or by crook. I couldn't care if it was from dodgy decisions. I couldn't care if it's from goals that should have been disallowed. I don't care how you do it. You beat them, and that's what matters. And it's the same on any other side. So all this patter that's coming out from some of the opposition players that Celtic didn't win yesterday, that nonsense can go right in the fucking bin. That is drivel. Birthday cared pish, you would say. That I've seen, is it Todd Cantwell who's came out and said, oh, we weren't beat, or Celtic didn't win. What? Do you need me to tap the sign like the bus in The Simpsons? Do you need me to tap it? Don't make me tap the sign, Toddy boy. It was a loss for Rangers, which means a win for Celtic. Another 3 points and 12 points clear. If the mathematics isn't quite there for you, Mr. Cantwell, there you go. I hope I've helped you with your homework, son. Thank you, by the way, to Jacob Miller, who's donated a £5, saying Alistair Johnson's a sexy man. Can't wait for him to rip into that little pony at the semis. Let's see if we didn't win it again. Thank you for the donation. Yes. Look, listen. This is what I don't even know where to begin. There's so much to talk about from yesterday's game, from the performance to the aftermath to individual performances to comments after the game. There's so much to cover. We could be here all day. But let's put it simply. Celtic weren't at their best yesterday. We know that. That was quite evident. We weren't great by any stretch of the imagination. We did have to rely on some luck. Sometimes you do in football. Individual errors got us our goals. But at the end of the day, we did win. And that's all that matters. And I feel like every single time we beat Rangers nowadays, there's a new excuse. There's a new reason. And I feel it just gets worse and worse. They have fully... And look, listen, I've on this channel, I've said it as it is since the day I started it. I don't care who I'm pleasing and who I'm annoying. I try to be fair, but I always say it as it is. I feel like Rangers have become much more serial losers since Michael Beale has taken over. From when Gio was in charge, Mark Warburton was in charge, Pedro Caixinha was in charge. Which is weird because their record is actually good. They've only lost one game, and that's yesterday. Two games, the cup final as well. One league game though, they've lost one league game, that was yesterday. So they shouldn't be acting like serial losers, but they are. They're constantly fucking crying, they're constantly moaning, they're constantly coming up with excuse after excuse, when they're just not as good as Celtic. We weren't at our best yesterday, but we still beat them. And to be honest, if they never found that goal late in the second half to bring it to a close, nervy ending, even though we struggled, I still think we were the better team. And if we're the better team and we're playing poorly, it speaks volumes about the losers on the other side. They have done so much talking. You'd think they'd know how to shut their trap when they're not winning, because it's coming back at them every time. Between the captain, the manager, Goldson, fans, everybody, they do all this talking, and then when it comes to the games that matters, where they should be doing the talking on the park, they don't. And that's becoming a recurring theme. When it comes to these derby games, that seems to be what keeps happening. And it's like they're learning nothing from it. You know what I'm trying to say? And as I said, I don't care if I'm pissing off Rangers fans or anything by saying that. That's how I see it. And I think that's the truth. There needs to be a clear out at Rangers, because I don't think they're getting anywhere with that group of players. I think they're all losers. I think they're wimps. I think they're not good enough. And simply Celtic will keep beating them time and time and time again, as long as there's air in Ange Postecoglou's body. But yeah, we'll try and get through a couple of things. There's a couple of donations, by the way. Updates on your Chinese state-owned Twitter account. There is none. Thank you for the donation. Oh, I appreciate it. There's no update. I've heard nothing from Twitter yet, so I don't know when I'll be back. I'm missing all the fun. It's so weird, because I've got like a wee backup account that I use just to check for, like, I don't do anything on it. Don't try and follow me. Nothing's on it. Literally just to keep up with the world. But it's not the same algorithm. So it's really weird. I missed out all the fun yesterday. Thank you, Mr. Loserville 95 with £2 saying we missed Hatata yesterday big time. Moy was pish. Yeah, so let's try and talk about a few things, and then I'm going to just get all you guys involved and get your thoughts and things in here. I want to try and keep it as short as possible, because this can be viewed as a video afterwards, and I want people to be able not be turned away by the length of the video. So I'm going to try and get through as much as I can here, and then I'll come on to use. So let's talk about the performances and such itself, and the actual game, the 90 minutes of football. Yeah, Celtic weren't at our best, and we did rely on a couple of individual errors from Rangers to get our second and third goal. It's part and parcel of football, really. If you make those mistakes, then simply you've got to take advantage of them, and that's what Celtic's done. Rangers fans could complain about individual errors, but yeah, those are the errors that separate the Celtic and Rangers, and the quality between both sides. These things happen. It's not, they keep getting used as excuses, but we took advantage of those mistakes, and yeah, it probably overall came into helping us find the 3 points. But listen, I've heard a lot of bad things about yesterday's performance, and I honestly don't think it's as bad as what some people are making out. Like, I went down at half time, and I was saying to folk, I was saying to my Keelan that I still thought we were the far better team. I thought we were in total control of the game, and they got a free kick that was a spectacular hit from Tavernier, to be fair. But they scored from a direct free kick, and I felt like it was their only real big chance. We'll come on to the disallowed goal in a moment. But I thought that was their only real big chance of the half. And I was going down the stairs, and I heard a lot of people behind me saying, fucking shite, this, that, and the next thing. But I didn't think we were that bad, to be honest. Yeah, it wasn't great, wasn't vintage Celtic, as I've already touched on, but I didn't think it was as bad as what people made it out. Now, the one thing, and it's already been pointed out in one of the donations, the one thing that I did think we did miss hugely was Hatate in the midfield. We didn't have that same fluency? I don't know. We didn't have that same engine in the midfield that we normally have with Hatate, because he can drift wide if he needs to, and he does a lot of moving about. I thought we didn't quite have that with O'Reilly and Moy yesterday. And let's be real, Moy was absolutely abysmal. That was probably his worst game in a Celtic shirt yesterday. I don't know if he's been rushed back. I don't know if it was just an off day, but everything from his normal vision with the ball just wasn't there. And I think what we needed was somebody like Hatate to kind of unlock the game. And we didn't get that. And we missed that big time. I thought in the midfield, we were much better in the second half when Awata was brought on, put it that way. I thought in the first half, we were really, as we moved forward, that's where we got worse, I think. I just feel like we just didn't have that same cutting edge that we normally would. And that came with passing and final product. It just wasn't quite there. I'm going to touch on a couple of the donations very quickly. Would you say Kyogo's the best since Larsson? £2 donation. Might be. £5 donation from Nathaniel Hepburn saying, good seeing so many with notifications on. And John Cowan, he says it's just absolutely entitlement ripping out of them. They're so used to getting decisions going their way every week. It just doesn't compute with that a decision would go against them. We're going to come on to all the talk of decisions and yada yada yada. We're going to talk all about that. But thank you all for the donations. Very generous of you, John, tenner. Wow, thank you. But thank you to John, Nathaniel, and Hacky. Yeah, so first half, you know, we made the best of a bad situation up until we got that they got that free kick, and we kind of got away with it a little bit, didn't we? But yeah, Kyogo got the goal for us in the first half. Listen, I think that when you look at that first half performance from Celtic and Rangers, I just still see apparently, it's huge. The differences, we're universes in quality away. Rangers are nowhere near us. I don't care what I get told or say. That's the case right now. I'm not disputing that Michael Beale's not improved them, or that he's putting together a squad and they might come good. But right now, they're just not good enough. They're nowhere near that standard Celtics. I'll tell you, one thing from yesterday that I want to point out from the first half is the boy Cantwell. I thought he was humming. And I've been hearing all this good stuff about him. Now, one game doesn't tell the whole story. What's his fascination with the grass? He kept sliding into the grass. Like, if you're going to make a slide tackle, at least get close to your man. He kept sliding grass. I'm like, what are you doing? May as well stay in the fucking ground the way I was going down. He was hitting the 4 or 5 minutes, every 5 minutes. And I just thought, and I thought that about Rangers through that first half. They just looked very desperate to do things to try and, rough us up or get into the game mentally. And it wasn't working for them. And I thought we handled it well. It's just obviously the free kick came at just the worst possible time. I knew it was going in, by the way. I just knew it. I know it was a distance. He shouldn't be scoring those for fun. But he did score it. And I just had a feeling it was going in the back of the net. So it wasn't the greatest time to concede. But it was all about the response from that in the second half. But there was certainly things we had to work on. I just thought overall, just to wrap up the first half, I just thought that we were a little bit quiet. I don't know. Yeah, we made chances. Yeah, we scored an offside goal. But we just didn't. There was no players for me, apart from one, who we're going to come on to raving about at the end of the overall game. Apart from one player, I thought the first half was probably, there was not really a standout performer. Kyogo got the goal, great. He's probably the best out of all the other players. But, Jota, Maida, yeah, they were doing, but it wasn't the same kind of, Jota's doing this and Maida's doing that. It wasn't the same kind of performances that you're used to. Usually the derby game, it's fucking magic. I don't remember any of the attacking players having this particularly spectacular game. So yeah, first half was a weird one. It's one of the weirdest derbies I've probably seen for a long time, actually. But as I said, it was important that we improved in the second half. And obviously, come the 73rd minute, I was thinking, this once again, I've said it, by the way, thank you to Max Stark, by the way. Tavernier got 2 goals and still wasn't the best right back in the pitch. Alistair Johnson, sensational with the Canada flag. We're going to talk about him, don't you worry. But you're right, best player in the park by a country mile. Yeah, I'll come on to everybody's comments and such, don't worry. By the way, over 400 viewers at the moment, so thank you very much. It is appreciated. I know I've kept you waiting. I hope you have been waiting patiently and excited for this. Second half, once again, people saying the performance wasn't great. Yeah, I agree, wasn't great. But do I still think that was an exaggeration? Absolutely, because when we were 3-1 up, I thought it was going to finish 5. I really did think it was going to finish 4-5-1, something like that. We just got into a little bit of a rhythm when we scored those 2 goals within 10 minutes, and I just thought that Rangers looked down and out when they conceded the third. I looked down and I seen Cantwell trying to rile them back up and all the rest of it, and that's what you're hoping to see is it's on the losing side of things. Celtic go behind, you want to see your captain, you want to see one of your key players giving it a bit of oomph. But I just thought it looked, it was mistakes. I thought it looked as though they chucked it, and I genuinely thought we were going to get more out of it. But the problem was, Rangers had to chase the game, and it put us a little bit on the back foot, and it made the last 10 minutes nervy. Don't get me wrong, it really did make the last 10 minutes nervy. But even through conceding, and even through maybe being the team that was on the back foot, as I said, for the last 10 minutes, it just speaks volumes about this group of players we've got and this manager right now, because we still went for it. We didn't camp in. We didn't hide away from it. We still went for it. We still made chances. Fuck knows what Bernabe's doing. Let's bring that up. Why? Why, Bernabe? What? Just smack it. Put your laces through it. Put it in the back of the net. We still made chances. We still went for it. But we didn't give up. We didn't lose any confidence, any momentum. We just kept, we kept our heads strong. We stayed in the game. We didn't do anything fucking stupid. And we managed to keep the 3-2 lead. And that just speaks volumes about what we have at this moment in time with this Celtic team. And I just don't think that anybody can compete with that, including Rangers at this moment in time. It's such a strong unit we have built. It's going to take a miracle to topple this Celtic side. It really, that's the way it's going to go. Look, I could put I'll do it right now. I'll put my pre-season predictions out already. Celtic will win the league next year. I have no doubt about it. As long as Ange Postecoglou's there till the end of the season anyway, I'm confident Celtic will win the league, because we just have something special about this group of players. Enjoy it, savour it. You know what I mean? That just savour every last moment of what we have with all these players and this manager, because this is a special time we're living through right now. That is another derby. We're not beating the derby games this season. I know there's 2 more to go, but we're not beating in 4 attempts so far, including a cup final, and including when the pressure's on Celtic to finish a title race effectively yesterday. We still go out and do it. But aye, yeah, Jota got the 3rd, brilliant for him. We're glad seeing his goal. And then finally, just to wrap up on the performance side of things, and before we talk about your comments and aftermath and everything else, and just generally what you guys want to talk about, Alistair Johnston, unfucking believable. He's just unreal. He's the best right back in the country. He was the best right back in the park yesterday. And he's the best right back I've seen at Celtic in a long time. Maybe since Jim Craig. To be honest with you. No, listen, in all seriousness, I am so against recency bias. You know me. If you watch my videos religiously, you know I don't like recency bias. And you know I don't like it when people jump guns. And, I always give Ryan McGinley into bother for saying fucking players who've had 3 games for the club are better than people who played for... Alistair Johnston's better than Josip Juranovic. He's more suited to this team. Defensively, he's better. And he brings something to this... Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Oh my... We'll come on to that, look. I've just seen that. No, seriously. Johnston... He brings something to this team that we've not had in a long time. The boy loves a tackle. He's fucking good at a tackle. He brings an aggression into the team, but like a calm aggression. Not like Joey Barton sliding in for the sake of it and getting red card aggression. I'm talking useful, ruthless aggression, John Cena style. He is unbelievable. And listen, I've always been... very, I know, Jay, I'm sorry, no brig for me yesterday. I'll be there for the semi-final, don't worry. My bad. I've always, as I said, I hate recency bias. I hate it when people jump on and go, he's better than him, because, it does me nothing. But it's true with Johnson. He is better than Juranovic. God bless Juranovic, love him, and I'm glad he's doing well at Union Berlin as well. But Johnson is just fucking superb. He's just so good. And yesterday's performance, man of the match performance, he deserves every bit of praise under the sun. I said this at the game to Kieran David yesterday. I remember when we had the fan media press conference with Alistair Johnston, and my question was, you grew up playing hockey and you played hockey at a competitive level. Is there anything for football anything for hockey that you kind of bring into your footballing style? And he just looks at me and he goes, I love a tackle. And yeah, he wasn't lying. He was not fucking lying. I absolutely adore him. He's quickly became... Look, on a personal level, he's probably the nicest player I've ever spoke to. But on a footballing level, he's quickly become one of my favourite players. He's quickly became one of all of our favourite players. With how good he's settled in and how good he's came across in the park and off the park as well. He is just... I love him. I can't put it into fucking words. And I hope he's here for a long time. We have picked up an absolute gem of a player in Alistair Johnston. And I hope that somebody somehow shows him this video, because I want to give him a big fucking kiss. Right, no, enough of that, Ryan. Behave yourself, horny boy. Right, in terms of it, that's it. 3-2 win. Now, I know that there's a couple of Rangers fans in the comments. I can see them, and I don't mind. I welcome everyone on the channel. So I guess I should address some of the refereeing decisions, because I always talk about it when it doesn't go Celtic's way, and I may as well talk about now that it's not went Rangers' way. I don't think that it overall changed the result yesterday. I really don't. Yeah, people will say, "Oh well, we would have got a goal." These things, that's not how fucking football works. I hate it when people do that. Oh well, if that was allowed, then we would have won the game, because it doesn't mean the game would have unfolded in the exact same way. These things change games. Like, just because a goal would have been allowed, yeah, it would have changed the game. Doesn't mean it would have changed the result. But on that note, yeah, it was from my seat, I had no idea what was going on. No idea. I honestly have no idea. I just remember seeing, I didn't even know what went in. I just remember looking and I was like, what the fuck? This is why I hate having no away fans either. I missed their second goal. I was trying to check the score in the Man U game. Just if I thought I had a moment to check, and Kieran's nudging me. He's like, by the way, Rangers have scored. I'm like, oh, have they? I hate having the away fans there. Anyway, besides the point, I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. I had no idea. I was like, what's going on here? And then they started running away as if they scored. I was like, oh, okay, goal. From where I sat, I couldn't make out why it'd been disallowed. I didn't see why why it was disallowed from my seat. Now, I went home last night steaming, and I had a little watch over it. And my steaming mind, of course, I was shouting, giving it the get it up use, and I was just laughing away at it. So I'm going to live react. I've decided I'm going to do it live. I'm going to live react to what the situation and give my... So I've saved it for this. I said I'd give it a live reaction to give 100% honesty at my first thoughts, my first views of it. Now, as we all know, Kyogo also got a goal called off, clearly offside, fair enough, good decision. I thought it was onside in the ground, but he was quite a bit offside. Very good decision, fair enough, not going to complain about it. Now, here we go, the corner comes in. There's tussling. Morelos goes in. I need to see it again. I do watch it, right? And I think the foul is given on Johnson for the push, and then Morelos obviously taps it in. Now, I am not going to sit here and lie. I do think it's soft. Do I think it's a foul? Yeah. You're not meant to get away with pushing players down, especially at set pieces. We know that. That's basic common knowledge. It's the law of the game. But I will be honest in saying that if it happened on the other side of things, I would have been annoyed. I'd have been complaining. I'd be giving it was never a foul and all that. We all would have been. Let's be fucking real. But you can't argue with the fact it is a foul. That is a foul. You push a player down. Doesn't matter how light the contact might be and how much Johnson makes out of it. It doesn't matter. It's a foul. You can't push a player down in the box from during a set piece. It is a foul. Yes, I'd be annoyed. I can see people being annoyed. I understand it. Doesn't mean it's the wrong decision. Yeah, it's light. I know. That's just the rules of the game, I'm afraid. So yes. Oh, there's Phil telling me to stop swearing. Sorry, Phil. I'll shut my fucking mouth for you. Yeah, so that's, we've spoke about the majority of it all. Let's get your thoughts. I feel like I've summed up everything quite nicely in regards to my thoughts on the game. Ange Postecoglou's came out and spoke. Competitive game. Beals came out and spoke. Fucking drivel as usual. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy we've won. We've won the league. We're 12 clear. I mean, how better can it get than that? So yeah, we've got a couple of Rangers fans in the chat. We've got Kerr saying, as a Rangers fan, I'm still raging and I still hate yous, but it was a class game. A good spectacle for the neutral. Bring on the semi-final. Fuck the spectacle, I say. No, listen, it was, I'd imagine for a neutral it was a good watch, but I always find it hard to put myself in the neutral shoes when it comes to these games. But yeah, let's see. I want to get all of your... okay, talking the free kick, I seen... Yeah, I thought Awada deserves a big shout out. I thought he was really good in the second half yesterday, Sean. I thought he was really, really good. I seen something on Joe, and I want to bring it up, and I can't find it now. Where is the Joe? Why did Hart dive for the free kick goal with a closed fist? Probably to try and just punch it away, I'd assume. But one thing I did want to say about Joe Hart and the free kick yesterday, he was no keeper saving that. It was a spectacular hit from Tavernier. It's a wonder strike of a free kick. He deserves the credit for that, at least the big loser. But what I will say is, no keeper saving that. Brilliant free kick. And it doesn't matter if his fist was open or closed. He wasn't getting to that. You can't do much when it's barring in. He's not 7 foot tall. So yeah. Ryan, somebody's saying something about a poll. Ryan, it'd be great if you'd done a poll, i.e. wouldn't it be fun to take kick off, pass the ball, so way back and let Joe smash the ball into our goal? Yes. Let's get Joe doing that next game. Yeah, I'll agree, Colin. I think Vickers probably had one of his worst games in a Celtic top. Once again, I didn't think it was overly bad, but yeah, just in terms of your regular standards, it wasn't quite up to scratch, was it? Yes. Let's see. Ryan C with the Rangers goalie with Jota's goal. Like, what the fuck was his game he ran? Yeah, that was bizarre from McGregor, Shelley. I thought I was confused. These, the fact that Alan McGregor's still the goalkeeper for Rangers in the year 2023 is an embarrassment in itself. And I know Rangers fans all agree with that anyway. They want a new keeper. They think McGregor's done. I think they're very vocal on that. It's mad because it's such a weird dip for McGregor. We've reached 500 losers, says Phil. Well done, losers. Thank you. But the thing is with McGregor, Alan McGregor, the dip is weird because last year in the Europa League, he was fucking incredible, wasn't he? He was defying all logic of the human body. He was making wonder save after wonder save. And this year, I'd put in a better shift in goals for Rangers this season. But he should not. That, for me, is another. This what I'm saying about, I've made a bold early prediction that we'll win the league next year. Why? Because they've got, I know, and McGregor will probably be replaced next year. Let's be real. He probably will be. But if the fact there's players like McGregor and Davis, and I know Davis is injured, isn't he? But the fact they're still on the payroll, and Arfield and these guys, I know Arfield can be a bit of a player sometimes. I know that. They shouldn't be on the payroll at Rangers. They shouldn't be. And that for me is they're never going to get anywhere close to us if that's players that they've got in the team. But as Shelley said, weird run from McGregor when it came to Jota's goal. A Rangers fan in the chat saying he agrees that McGregor should have got. I was still stunned when he signed the contract. When it came out that he signed a year extension, I said, what? Because he'll be on a fair wage. He's probably on it, 20 grand a week? Maybe more? Why? It makes no sense. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. It's always cheated, never defeated, isn't it? Let's see. I'm trying to look for some. Kent always is a quiet one. I want some of your points to wrap us up. We'll probably try and take it to the half-hour mark. Yeah, well, chill, pal. You made a good point. As a Celtic fan, what I say is, what I must say is McGregor must stay. Yes, keep Alan McGregor, please. Oh my, I'm not even touched on it. Get up, you Nielsen. Bye, cheerio. I hope he's not back in Scotland anytime soon. And I mean a job, obviously. I'm not patting him out the country. I don't want to see him. I don't know what job he'd get next. To be honest, I think it's got to be down to England for Nielsen, hasn't it? Because it just makes no sense. He's been poor this year. They've been poor this year. I don't think he's that great a manager anyway, but they've been good, and it warrants a bigger job in Scotland. He's not going to get the Aberdeen job. I think Aberdeen fans would be rightly unhappy with that, to be honest. Would they? I don't know. I'm assuming I'd be unhappy. He's obviously not going to take Hibs' job if that came up anytime soon. And I don't see him going anywhere else in this country. So he'll probably be off down to England at some point. But what I will say is, get up, you Robbie Nielsen, and I hope you're greeting. I don't usually wish for a man to lose his job. I've got more class than that, but I fucking hate Robbie Nielsen. Great weekend, Robbie Nielsen sacked and we beat the Rangers. Kyogo's movement was unreal yesterday. If our players knew how to find him, we'd score so many goals. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I absolutely agree. And to be linked with the Hearts job, it wouldn't put me, in this country, wouldn't put it past the tabloids to have that done. You have no class, 118. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I know. I try my best. How am I joking when I said I have more class than that? I have no class. So, yeah, there was tons of yellow cards yesterday. There was all sorts. We're flying out fucking Kevin Clancy's pocket. Just like the explicit language that was flying out my mouth at Kevin Clancy yesterday. Yes, I was, Elliot. I was very rough this morning. I think that we took it too far last night, to say the least. But I've recovered well, surprisingly. Yeah, Yeah, Ange will be linked with the Chelsea job soon. Nah, I don't think he'll be linked with the Chelsea job, Jordan. I think they've already skipped the process of getting Ange's name put in with the job. So I think we'll miss it in this one. But listen, the Leicester job's up now as well, and probably be another fucking 10 sackings in the Premier League the way it's going this season. So we'll hear it all again. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we'll hear it all again. Will Rio in a bad return for the Kilmarnock game? Don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what Ange says on Friday. What he did say about Abada a couple of weeks ago was he'd be out for a couple of weeks. He has now been out for a couple of weeks, so maybe he'll be fine to come back. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see if there's any training videos and such tomorrow, if there's anything. But yeah, right. I think that'll do it. I think that'll do. Yeah. I'm going to wrap it up there. Over 500 viewers, by the way. Thank you very much. It is much appreciated. Sorry for such a delayed match reaction, but, you know, when we're here and we're always here, we try. It's been good to have a wee live catch-up anyway. We should be back on the channel tomorrow. So, although it's a busy week, I'll throw it out there just now. Everybody's piling away now. I've mentioned that's it finished. What I will say is, if I don't upload that regularly this week, my apologies. This is it. The last week of uni, basically. Dissertation's due on Friday, so I've still got about 1,000 words to go, and an interview to conduct because I love doing last minute things. So I will be busy getting all that tidied up and finished this week. So if I don't upload that regularly, you know why. Just to put it out there, but I should still be here as many days as possible, and hopefully I'll be here, and then come Friday when uni's done, technically then I'm a full-time YouTuber. I mean this has been my job for the last year now. By the way, it's a year since I've been doing this as my job. But technically I will be I won't be a student anymore when that's all done, so that'll be proper YouTube stuff. But yeah, if I'm busy this week, that's why, and if I'm not here, that's why. But I should be. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Thank you all so much. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you all. God bless Ellie Dixon. I love you, and aye.